Imagine leaving your family, your friends, your country, your culture, your language, everything you've known for your entire life. Imagine moving across the world to a place where no one speaks your language. Not many understand your culture or your beliefs. Well, that's what I want to talk to you today. I want to talk to you about the Somalians who left the Kenya refugee camps to come to Barron, Wisconsin. So, have you ever been on vacation and the person next to you doesn't speak English? They just look at you and smile and like shrug their shoulders, and they have like this look on their face like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, that's what the Somalis encountered when they came to Barron, Wisconsin. We didn't understand their beliefs. We definitely couldn't understand their speech, and we didn't understand their culture. They did things so much different than we did. According to Nazra, who's the director of the International Center in Barron, they are nomad people. They were used to just going from place to place, not staying in one place. They weren't used to electricity. The fact that they could turn on a light switch and light came on and then all of a sudden went off, they didn't understand. So where do they come from? Well, according to the Boston Globe, June 18, 2008 edition from Elizabeth Kennedy, Somalis flee terror, pour into Kenya refugee camps. According to the timeline of war in Somalia from Wikipedia, 1990 the war began in Somalia, and many of those left and traveled to Kenya refugee camps. Dadaab, which is 50 miles from the Somali border in Kenya, is the closest refugee camp for the Somalis to travel to, and many traveled by foot. According to the Plight of Somalia Refugees, the July 2008 edition from Ethan Barron, 30,000 refugees traveled to these camps in 1 year. There was too many refugees in the camp. There was only one toilet for every 20 people. They were given a tarp and mud bricks to build their shelter. Their food was rationed. They received food 2 times a month, and that consisted of cornmeal and vegetable oil. They do have schools in the refugee camps, but the staff is very low trained, if trained at all. This is still going on today in the refugee camps because the Somali war is still in progress. Nazra, again from the International Culture Center, said, I asked her, why did they come here? And she said, well, they come for 2 reasons, for education and for jobs. Just between the years of 2003 and 2004, over 400 Somalis settled in Barron, Wisconsin. As for the education part, according to Kim Franson, the English as a second language teacher at the Barron High School, many came because we had less testing restrictions than they had in the state of Minnesota, and also they could come at semester and graduate in May. What a wonderful opportunity for someone who has been in the country for only a few months to be able to graduate from high school with a diploma in only 5 months. They also came for jobs. According to Mark Johnson from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, June 24, 2004 edition of Diversity and Growing Pains Come to Small Town, Wisconsin, many of these Somalians came because of jobs at Jennie-O Turkey Store. There was many open positions, and it was not necessary to be able to speak English in order to work there. At that time, there was 200 out of the 1,250 employees that were Somali employees. And to this day, Scott Sand, an employee currently at Jennie-O Turkey Store, said that number has not changed much. So I bet you're wondering, what can we do to help? Why is she here? What does she want to talk to us about? Well, according to Jessica Schade and Zoltan Grossman in the 2004 report entitled Somali Immigrants Settled in Small Midwestern U.S. Communities, The Case of Barron, Wisconsin, we are the 2nd largest population in the states of Somali residents, next to the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Since they have been coming here, we have opened the Intercultural Center, which is where Somalis can go learn English, can help them find jobs. It can also help them become U.S. citizens. Remember, they are refugees. They were brought here by the United States. They have a mosque. They can attend church services in the tradition that they're used to. They have a Barron Somali Community Center, and Nazar told me this is the place where young and old can come together And the elderly can teach the youngsters their culture and their traditions and their beliefs so that they don't become too Americanized. They also have the safari restaurant and grocery store where they can eat food that is their traditional food and eat in a place that they feel comfortable. It is open to the public, so many people can go in there and experience their traditional fare. I have tried goat. I wouldn't say I'd try it again, but I have tried goat. We also have Olympic Financial and Coffee, and Olympic Financial is a place where the Somalis can go and wire money home. And while they're wiring money home, they can have a cup of coffee. They wire this money back to Somalia or even to the refugee camps for their families so that they can help support themselves. There are things that you can do, and one of the first things that you can do to help make their integration into Barron more successful and smoothly is to volunteer at the Intercultural Center. You can help them learn to speak English. You can help understand their culture, their beliefs, so that you feel more comfortable with them. One of their cultural things is that a man cannot touch a woman, or maybe I should say it the other way. A woman cannot touch a man other than her husband. So if you are speaking with another man, you should not shake their hand because that is thought of wrongly. And a Somali man should not look into the eyes of a white woman because it is thought that she would be interested in him then. Those are things that for me were really hard because I always wanted to shake hands, I always wanted to look them in the eye just because that's where I was taught. And that's where you need to understand their culture and their beliefs so that you can be comfortable with them and not do something that might offend someone. Some of the churches in town are offering informational classes so that tells you a little bit about the Muslim religion so that you can understand it if you are traditionally a Christian. And that's really nice to know because things are slightly different and it's good to understand why their culture, why they do things, what they do, and what they believe. Try and learn their customs. Just take time. Another thing that you can do is just say hi. If you're there walking down the street, you can say hi. If you see someone in need, just help them out. But again, just try to remember the cultural restrictions so that you don't step on any toes or offend anyone. So the reason I am here today is to just say, take time to say hi. Take time to lend a helping hand and take time to learn so that you can make the transition for the Somalis and also those that are in Barron a little bit more smoother. Because remember, we are the second largest population of Somalis in the United States. I just want you to think about what I said today and possibly take action to become more comfortable with your small town community so that we can be one of the best communities in the area. Thank you.